Welcome to Prep Talk Live every Wednesday, except when it's on Friday.
Is it Wednesday? It feels like Wednesday still.
You know what? It feels like it's 3 weeks from Thursday, is what it feels like.
Yeah,
After this week.
this week kind of flew by, but it's also it took its toll on me. There's a
You,
it's not the years, it's the miles on the vehicle, and so it's a lot of
exactly.
miles. I had a lot of miles this week.
The urban prepper has turned into the Caribbean prepper.
Yeah.
I feel like that.
I'll go a little festive on here. I even have some bug spray on hand, ready to go, just because
Because you never know.
you never know on these live streams what YouTube's going to pull on us.
Especially when it's like a weekend one and everyone's like, we have no idea what's going to happen. We have a rough idea, but who knows? It could be anything.
Yeah. And sorry for on the Wednesday, I got called into work on something, and my work doesn't care about my YouTube career.
Don't they understand? We have commitments. We have commitments.
I'm like, hey, I'm talking to Cascadia Dispatch at 5:30. No, you're not. You're doing this.
Well, luckily, since it's our stream, we don't care. We'll move it around. Our audience is flexible. They'll watch it. They'll join us. They'll enjoy it. They'll talk, or they'll be here next Wednesday. It is what it is.
Yeah, work. We're bump. We call it bump. You're bumping it. We bumped our meeting, so we just bumped our live stream to Friday. So
yeah, exactly. We just bumped it a little bit, and it's totally fine, and everyone's super happy. I already see some of our usual suspects are here. Pony Girl. We can always count on Pony Girl to be here. Pony Girl
always has really good questions too. So.
She does, and no pressure, Pony Girl. But there you go. Jeremiah's here, so we got the people rolling in to do the bump. I feel like we already bumped. Is there a move? Is there a thing? Pony Girl, do we need to bring you in on stream to do the bump for us? Yeah, I'm super confused. Anyway, so welcome to episode 9 of Prep Talk Live. As usual, I'm Casey with Cascadia Dispatch. Joining me, as always, is the Urban Prepper. I would say what's up, Tup, but I feel like I need to say aloha or something like that, Tup. Yes. How was your week?
It's a super busy week. A lot of, I do the day job so that's my main thing, and it's been really busy at the day job. But it's been a busy week for YouTube stuff for me too. Working on a lot of videos. I need a video editor or something like that because I have so many videos that are all done. It's just I need someone to assemble them. So if you please send your resumes to the Urban Prepper, and it's a paid gig. It's so hard to. There's only so many hours in a day, and I actively drinking coffee to stay through it. But yeah, all in all, going pretty good. I'm working on some fun projects, some fun prepping projects. I think I have an idea on my pantry reorg as far as like ensuring the first in, first out rotation. So that should be fun.
Oh, that's fantastic. I would wonder, like, because I know that like City Prepper and I think Canadian Prepper, like they have some sort of editing support, I think, right?
Well, it makes a lot of sense, like, because I could do editing a little bit, but I'm not a video. I mean, the real video editors, they can do all sorts of cool flying things and stuff. But yeah, it's hard for people, I think, to let go a little bit of some of the little things. But yeah, they have a wardrobe and makeup, and they have lawyers and all sorts of stuff. So we're small time operations. So
couldn't you lean on the whole preparedness thing and be like, come on, guys, like for the good of the team, like I need some editing help. Like, let me one of your guys for the afternoon.
Yeah, Canadian Prepper has the communist cameraman or something like that. I think it's I don't know what's going on over there in Canada. They have
a whole squad. Yeah. But since it's Canada, it's only 70% of what you could probably put out or something like that, I think. Yeah. Versus the American Prepper sort of thing. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that you've got it. I feel like I have a lot of ideas for videos. I am yet to film them. I feel like you're ahead of me on that front. You do better at filming and just not publishing, and I do a great job of coming up with the ideas and still not filming them yet.
Yeah, the problem with my videos is that they take so much time to put together. Like I'm not good at doing like a one taker, talking about a certain topic, no breaks, no cuts or any jump cuts or anything like that, and just cranking them out daily. It takes me days and days to make the PDF and to film all the B-roll and assemble it and do all the little OCD things that I like to do. And
you're very detailed.
It's not that, well, I try to be for prepping stuff. For other things, I'm not as detailed, but for prepping, I try to.
Yeah, I think that's one of the ideas that we had with this whole Prep Talk Live thing, was trying to come up with ways of getting content out without having to worry about actually cutting it together and making it look nice and transposing all the film and footage and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So far it seems to be working.
We're
The
doing I
people
think we're
seem to
doing
be
we're doing
enjoying it.
good.
So that's a good thing.
Top of
Uh,
perfectionist. I've seen some comments. Want to know about the flat cap? I see the.
yeah.
I
Do you
can
want to
talk. I can talk about the flat cap if we
go
want.
into the
It's kind
story?
of a bummer. It's not the. It's kind of a bummer of a story, but I could go into it if you want. But maybe I should
Yeah,
do a video on this.
or should we save that to the end? No,
Whatever
let's do it
whatever
now.
I'll do it now. So yeah,
Let's do it now.
I'm kind of known for my cap and my glasses and the facial hair. That's kind of my branding. Uh, anyway, I started wearing the cap in late 2000s. Is that I had a friend that we were growing when we were growing up. We grew up together, and he died really young. He died at the age of 30, and he always wore Kangol hats. He had Kangol hats in black and blue and white, and he had matching shoes, and he would always be wearing the Kangol hats, and that's just kind of how we knew him. And so he passed away real tragically, and so my brothers and I were the pallbearer, so we had carried the casket, and we, in honor of our friend, his name was Dave. Uh, we wore the Kangol hats, the black Kangol hats, because that's what he wore, and so we did that for the funeral, and I kind of liked it, and so then I kind of kept it on as a in memory of a friend that passed away way too young. So again, it's kind of a bummer of a story, but that's why I wear the Kangol hat. So it's sorry to bring it down on a.
It's always good to start on a high to just crash into emotional despair.
Preppers already have a bad rep for doom and gloom type stuff, and now I'm telling the doom and gloom of my hat. But that's why I wear the hat, is in honor of my friend Dave.
Well, it's a fantastic story. And Alex, welcome to the group. I'm assuming you're relatively new. Because I feel like that's one of those stories that gets brought up with you like once every 6 months or a year. Or so.
It does. Yeah,
it's not an everyday sort of a thing, but once in a while someone will bring it up, and so
I should probably do a video just to cover it, and then I could just send the links for.
You should have like a.
You want to be bummed out? Here's the story.
400,000 views on Tup's channel.
Yeah,
the bummer news you didn't know you needed to have. Well, that's fantastic. I'm glad to know that you're doing a lot of filming and getting ready, and you will be throwing out videos more and more. You had you had the live stream with God, I'm blanking on
Brad from Full Spectrum Survival.
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
man, he's so good at like just public speaking. I wish I was that good at public speaking, because he was going so rapid fire on Q&A. And I was trying to keep up with the buttons and stuff. That was a blast talking with him. So.
Yeah, I looked over. I didn't get the notification until it was basically almost over.
Yeah.
And so I was looking over, and I was like, there was almost like 700 people in there watching you guys, and I was like, now that is the power of the Urban Prepper when you put all of that together.
I think those are all Brad's folks. People are tired of listening to me. They think, no, it's always fun, and I like talking with Brad, because on Brad's main channel, he's very serious. There's no joking around on that, but when we talk live, kind of like how we talk, it's there's some smiling. We get to joke a little bit more personable, and I like also talking just pure prepping stuff. So we don't really talk politics or current events. A little bit during that one, but I just like talking the nuances of prepping, because for me, that's the stuff I find super interesting.
Yeah, and you guys are very detailed when it comes to that sort of stuff. I mean, with the PDFs and all of the things, like it's just kind of, I feel like there are some preppers who are more kind of the broad strokes, and then there are the ones that are more in the details. The step by steps, this is how you do it sort of thing. So it's always good to see you two kind of geeking out on all of the steps and all of the
I want to talk. I'd like to talk with them more. It'd be fun to have you guys talk, because I'm sure you can make them laugh too. And
I feel like that should be my goal.
Yeah.
Can I break him?
Can you make Brad smile? No, he's an awesome guy, and Kelly's awesome, his wife, and he's so knowledgeable. The one that I really liked was we were talking about, during the apocalypse or during SHTF, what are you going to feed your animals? And he's like, well, I've been growing rats, and I have a certain diet for the rats, and it only takes one kibble of dog food per rat per day to be able, and he had it all broken down. It's cheap to grow, to have rats and reproduce them and feed them to the dog. So I had never thought about that. Yeah, not to himself. No, to the
no. I was thinking like livestock, like cows and chickens and sheep and those sorts of things. And I was like, oh, he's growing grain or whatever. And I was like, he's growing rats for the sheep? How is that a thing? but
Yeah, rats for dogs. Rats for dogs.
okay, that makes a whole lot more sense. That
Yeah.
I'm with you on that part.
Okay.
Okay, everybody, real quick before we switch over, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. I think most of the people here are probably subscribers, people who have been part of the community. If you're not, go ahead, hit that button. And for everybody that is here, go ahead and hit the like button because it helps to push this out to more people and hopefully bring in some more people who might be new and haven't met the Urban Prepper or Cascadia Dispatch. There are probably more people who haven't met me than Tup, but hey, we'll meet everybody. It's a whole thing.
Yeah, and they might be watching this in the year 2026 or something, and hopefully there's still prepper videos out there, and they haven't the Cascadia Dispatch hasn't been canceled or anything. But if you're from the year 2026 and you happen to be watching this video, so welcome. We're in 2022. We're doing okay, but
yeah, exactly.
Some bumps in the road.
Yeah. We're holding on. We're holding on.
I should have worn my next time. I'm going to wear my Cascadia Dispatch hoodie, I think so.
You know what? I have, with the videos and everything, I've actually been working on a bunch of little side projecty things because I have all these video ideas, but I don't have time during the day to multitask and actually make the videos.
Yeah.
So I've actually been working on some new shirt designs. So there's a whole line of Cascadia Dispatch shirts and sweatshirts.
The summer collection's coming out soon.
Exactly. Big prep energy. That's one of my favorites. Big That's prep awesome. Energy. The preps for me. There's one about
big prep energy. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. There's one about tinfoil is for leftovers, not for headwear. There's one about superpowers that I find funny. A couple of friends, shout out to Sim and Brian if you're watching. We always talk about our superpowers. Are we know things, we build things, we buy things. And there's one of each of us, and I'm the one apparently that buys the things. So I've got a shirt that's that. There are a few more. Prepper-ish, I think is one that I made. So yeah, so I've been working on putting those up. And then I've also been working on, and this kind of goes into one of our topics later. So I'll actually, you know what? For those of you who want to watch, I have a surprise project that I'm going to hold until the end, until we get to the to prep or not to prep section of the evening. But yeah, so I've been working on a bunch of those sorts of things. I continue to redo my office and redo the lighting and some of the cameras and some of that sort of stuff, just making it a little easier to actually make content and make videos and stream and that sort of stuff. So
I saw there's a comment already on the office for the Land Rover Techno Lego set coming. So
oh yes, the Land Rover. I finally got that done. I've got I feel like all of my projects are just in pieces. I've got another truck that's coming in, so we're going to try to finish out the bug out vehicle selection, and then we'll put up another poll and figure out what everybody else wants. Are we doing Disney? Are we doing ideas? Like what are we doing? Because you can't have too many of those little projects. So anyway, so let's talk show and tell. Let's talk. It's the preps for me. It is that time of the show where we get to do show and tell. Exactly.
My daughter loves show and tell. She's in kindergarten, and that's her favorite time.
So what do you want to go first? What do you got? What you bring?
So the last video I did that I actually finished was the nightstand EDC one, which I haven't. And there are some questions there because I showed that I have a CPAP as part of my sleep because since my daughter was born, I've been snoring, I guess, and my wife doesn't like it. And so then I did the sleep apnea test. Anyway, so I have a CPAP, and people were like, "Hey, if there's a power outage, what are you going to do for the CPAP?" And so I'm like, that was going to be the part 2 of the video, so they already beat me to it. But for the CPAP, what I recommend is the Jaffery 500. This is the one
nice.
I use for my CPAP. You want to go with the 12-volt one for the connectings. You have to get an adapter for your CPAP because it's not as efficient to go with the plug on these type of battery cells. But this is the one that I use on here. There's a lot of different testing that I've been gathering up for that eventual video for how long it could provide you if there's a long-term power outage for your CPAP. But I think that everyone should have these. These are a lot more inexpensive than some of the other ones. Like the Energy has some really nice ones, but they're a little on the pricey side. This one is super lightweight. It works great for camping, and I use it for my CPAP. And so I use the 12-volt adapter. And if you turn off the heating and the heating part of the humidifier for a CPAP machine, that you could get over a week's worth of power for that during a extended power outage. So that's
really
if you keep the heat on the water portion of it, you might get 3 days worth of power during a power outage, which maybe it'll do you for a weekend. I calculated it to 22 hours. I think you get 22 hours of sleep time. So 21 to 22 hours based off of my testing. But based off of my testing, if you do it with the DC in and turning off the heated humidifier, that you'll get I think for every hour that you sleep, it drops down a percentage basically. So you can get up to almost not quite 2 weeks, but around there. So 10 to 12 days. So.
All right, I'm glad you brought this up because I have so many questions.
That's my show and tell.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic show and tell.
I'm working on a video on it too, so stay tuned for that. So.
And there's lots of people talking about solar generators. Yep. There's somebody was asking, okay, but how do you recharge it with solar panels?
Yep.
But I have questions because not only do I sleep with a CPAP, my wife also sleeps with the CPAP.
Yep. She needs
so
one too.
So we had the Goal Zero. We got the Goal Zero 400s, I think, a while ago. For our first camping trip, because I had no idea what I was doing, and so I went and I got Goal Zeros, and we were gonna make it work. Now we have the actual travel CPAPs, which are a little bit. They're love them. They're fantastic. I sleep without the humidifier, so I don't have as much of an issue. My wife likes the humidifier, so hers operates a little bit differently. She's got to have the little discs or whatever go in it. But what I was curious about was, how did you figure out the power draw? Because normally when you have the CPAP on, you're asleep. So did you walk around the house for a day with your CPAP on to calculate how long the Jackery would last before it died? Or did you how did you actually calculate that? Because I would think you'd be asleep.
Yeah, so I put it on, and I basically had a little notepad on my nightstand. Okay, I turned it on. When I wake up in the morning, okay, that's when I turned it off. Okay, the next day, turn it on, turn it off, and I just did that. I wake up when it goes out of power. So when I woke up, it's not working, and then I logged my hours in, and that's how I do that. So I do it all the way till it drains, and then I calculated, okay, here's how many total hours I had on that full charge, and then I did a little bit of math, some nerd stuff there, to calculate how many hours you could get out of one.
That is fantastic. So, and then Jackery. So I've seen Jackeries all over the place,
and I'm not. I don't get paid by Jackery. I bought this with my own money.
Exactly. But you know what? Go to Tup's Amazon link, because then when you buy a Jackery, there you go.
Yeah, that's what am I thinking?
That's
why I'm not good at this YouTube stuff, because I don't have the marketing mind. So.
Stick with me, kid. I'll help. We'll get all this done.
Thank you.
I was thinking, we don't put any of our we tell people about our stuff, and then we don't go back to the video and put the thing in, the link to what. So we got to figure that out.
We need our staff to do that.
Yeah, exactly. Our tiny little staff, our little munchkin staff of our children.
Oompa Loompas.
Yeah, exactly. How do you the Jackery, as far as reliability, as far as duration, how do you like that compared to some of the other? Have you tried other ones?
Yeah, I tried. Yeah, I nerd out on some of these kind of power banks and stuff. I've tried the Goal Zero. I've tried Energy ones. Anchor has some. I think the Jackery is a good budget-friendly one that you could get. I think Energy's better. Like the Apex and all those ones. The Kodiak. I have the Kodiak, which is the old school, but it's kind of on the pricey side. I think the Jackery, for the money, it's hard to beat it. It's because sometimes they ship out some lemons, but they have pretty good customer support, where if you put a thing on Amazon saying you got a lemon, they'll send it back, and then people seem to be happy with it. So I think it's been pretty good. Yeah, I saw someone asking about how to recharge it. It'll recharge it in less than a day's work. When mine ran out, I would just put it back on the charger, start my day at work, and then when my work was done, it was fully charged, which is cool. And you can use, if you want to use solar panels, you can definitely recharge it that way.
Okay. And then you said the DC, and this is so Tup, you I like to think of myself as a nerd in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But then you come up with things and I'm in awe. Yeah. So the DC power, the car adapter works better than,
it's more efficient.
The plug. Okay.
Yeah, there's I won't get too nerded out, but there's some kind of conversions from from AC to DC type things that happen, and it makes it so if I were to plug in my CPAP into the AC adapter over here, the 110 volt, that it would it wouldn't be as efficient. You wouldn't get as many hours off of it because it has to do some kind of conversions for it. So go DC with it, and that's the way to do it.
Okay, all right, because that's one of those things that like I just think, okay, you plug it in and it's the same, but that shows that I have much to learn. And I need to get the little DC adapter.
Get the adapter. You could get the one that's made for, like, if you have a ResMed, for example, you could get the proprietary one, but it's a lot more expensive. I just got a knockoff one, and it does fine. So
okay, all right. Well,
anyway, that's my show and tell.
God, that was a fantastic show and tell.
We kind of nerded out on some power bank stuff. So.
That's, you know what? I feel like it's what we do sometimes, and sometimes you gotta make that happen for you.
Yep.
All right, so I actually brought two things for show and tell, because I had one thing I was like, I'll bring that, but I was like, I like this other idea better, so I'm gonna show them both. Cool. The first is the Garmin Explorer Plus. So this is the GPS. It's got the GPS, and they make the SE version as well, which is a little less expensive. It doesn't have a map integrated into it, so it'll show you like where you're going, but it doesn't have the map if you just turn it on. But these are the ones that are connected to satellite for texting and email. And so I got these for earthquake stuff and everything, because if the cell towers in our area were to go down, then we could actually use these to either communicate with each other. And we have these, every member of our immediate family, because we live in about a 5-mile radius of each other. So everybody has one of these, so we can communicate household to household. Because you can either do it as an email or a text message, or you can go device to device. So, and you can have like stored messages, or you can actually type out your own messages. So these are really cool, because even if you just go like out of cell range, so we're driving to the coast, for example, and we got a flat tire and we were out of cell range, this actually will have coverage. And we can send a text message to someone, or we can send an email. And then we have the out of town contacts also plugged into here, so we can send emails and text messages from that.
I think that's awesome, man. We're showing some high ticket items on this one.
Yeah, it's all kinds. I got a lower ticket item. I figured like, okay, I'm gonna show like the bougie prep item, and then I'm gonna go to the more like
bougie preps. You might want to get that domain name.
Bougie preps. That is coming to a store near you, Nordstrom near you.
I think it's a great option.
When you go to Nordstrom for your preps, and because Saks Fifth Avenue just doesn't have the boots that you're looking for, bougie preps.
Because I think a lot of like the non-bougie preps, they'll go to like a military surplus store or something like that. Bougie preps would have like the fancy comm system that you have here, and the power banks and the Maxpedition stuff.
I feel like I didn't have a whole lot of prep cred before, and I feel like bougie preps really just tanks the whole thing.
Yeah, people.
But then the channel will be going from Cascadia Dispatch to bougie prep videos. So the other thing that I like about this too is if you get like a sat phone, you have to pay a monthly fee for it. Like a monthly access charge, and you can't, like in a disaster, turn it on and then start using it. It has to be pre-activated. And the starting plans are like $50.
Yeah, I looked in those phones and the satellite phones, and it was just, I couldn't justify the price. So.
Yeah, so the plan is like $12, and it includes text and email.
A month or a year?
A month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not super inexpensive, but it's compared to $50 a month, it's 80% less. But then you can like go to the unlimited plan. So we have like a message in here to our out-of-state contact who has access to our account to say, hey, if there's a disaster, go in and switch us to the unlimited plan, so we can text and email and do whatever, and we're not getting dinged 10 cents or $1 a message or something like that.
I think it's a good option for family comms, because not every, it's hard to convince your 70-year-old mom to want to get a ham radio license or something. So it seems like a good option for family friendly, communication during emergency. So
yeah, and you can.
Are you going to include a link for this? I think that.
We'll include a link. Yeah. We'll include a link. You know what? So funny story. someone actually bought one of these off of my Amazon link like a year ago when I made a video about it. I couldn't believe it. But I was like, how cool is that? Because it's bougie preps. I like, you don't expect that, but anyway. So
can't wait for the t-shirt, the bougie preps t-shirt. I'm ready to get one.
You know what? I'm sending it off to the designer right now. It's
okay, cool.
I'm multitasking. So anyway, so these are great. And again, like, you don't need them for every like, we have one for especially for traveling. So like, if the kids are in one spot and we're in another, we've got one to send with them. But even if you just had one for your family to get a hold of out of town people or whatever, I think this is a really great add-on.
How much is that one?
So this one is the most expensive. I think it's about $400 or $450 for the unit.
That is expensive.
So there's the SE model that really the only difference is it doesn't have an integrated map, which you might not care about. It's about $100 or $150 less. And then they also have a mini that doesn't have the GPS feature, but it does have like the messaging feature. And I think that's like $100 or $150 or something like that. So you don't need, it's a little bit of a scale. The plans are all the same price, regardless of what device you have. So I spent a little bit more to get a little bit of a higher quality GPS because I'm navigationally challenged. But for people who just want the communication, this is another option. This kind of a line would be an option for a lower cost satellite communication. So
I love it. Man, our show and tell items were top notch this week.
Yes,
to see that.
So here's
someone said you can't buy that at Walmart camping.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you can't
get you know what though? You can probably get it on Walmart.com. I bet if we look, I bet
you could get it from Nordstrom's, the Nordstrom's
exactly
bougie prepper section of Nordstrom's.
The Nordstrom camping section, I think is what that's called.
So sorry, that's funny.
So and then this is my non-bougie prep.
Well, you have two preps.
This is my okay, this was a bougie prep, and this is a little bit more relatable, and I felt like it just had your name written all over it. Like I'm kind
of drooling a little bit. What is this?
See, I understand. Thank you for asking. I'm so glad you care. Let me so they're from Patu is the brand name. I don't know if it's a real brand or if it's just an Amazon thing.
Those friendship bracelets? Is that what?
But they're little Velcro wire ties, cable ties.
Nice.
But they come in all different colors and they loop around on themselves. So you take them and you can like tie them around and stick them onto things. They're Velcro.
Yeah.
But what's cool about them is they come in all of the colors, all the prepping colors. Nice. So I've taken them on my all of my little pouches, like my Max Edition, because I have like
quick
10 or whatever, like black pouches. You can't tell the difference, but you can wrap the color of prepping that's associated with whatever's in it on the top. Is that the bougie prep hotline?
I'd go, bougie prep. They're like, hey, where do I get one of those? Yeah, I want the bougie prep right now. Making orders. Sorry.
It's kind of like on TikTok with the Vanta Lord. The council has called, and I have lost my prepping credentials. That's what's happened.
Every time I do a live stream, like some kind of calls coming in, and So sorry.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with the rogue now because I've been ostracized from the prepping community on this. But anyway, so this reminded me of you, and it reminded me of all the color of prep projects. Because you can wrap these on just about anything. They're not expensive. I think they were a couple of dollars.
Is there going to be a link on this one as well? I think.
Well, of course. I mean, how could we not have a link to this? I think.
Who said I'm hypnotized by the colors? It's making me getting a little teary-eyed from it. It's just beautiful.
Isn't it beautiful?
It's beautiful.
Kaylin, I'm sorry that there's no Nordstrom in Iowa. There is Nordstrom.com though, and they will ship the bougie preps to you. So if you have any questions about that,
we talk. I get all these ideas for like cartoon ideas. I think or a TV sitcom where there's like a bougie prepper store. Like
that's what I imagine. Wait, didn't Canadian Prepper have like that $7,000 bike or something like that?
Well, some of those bikes, if you go with the e-bikes, they can get really expensive there.
Yeah, I'm just saying, that's not military surplus.
No, it's not.
Go to CanadianPrepper.com because
Canadian Preparedness.com.
Oh, Canadian Preparedness. Okay.
Yeah, there's probably some. I don't know what CanadianPrepper.com is. It might be someone probably stole it, and it's a knockoff.
Yeah, exactly. Don't go to Canadian Prepper. Go to CanadianPreparedness.com and tell them that we sent you looking for the $9,000 bikes.
Yeah. Someone lives on a ramen budget. I see there, Caitlin.
Yeah.
Kaylin.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's, you know what? That's
I love ramen. My kids love ramen. It's my father-in-law. He has a special recipe where he uses ramen as the base, and then he calls it Steve's Glop, and it has all sorts of stuff in it. But yeah, I think ramen's a good prepping item to have. So, or for your food preps, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's talk. Next item on the agenda is to prep or not to prep. So what we were thinking about for this week was, we've kind of been doing some planning stuff, and we've talked over the last couple episodes about planning for the new year and some of that sort of stuff. But what are the tools that we use to actually do the planning? Like when you have an idea, are there apps? Are there lists? Like what are the things that we do to kind of keep track of the different projects and the different ideas and all of that sort of stuff? And what do we recommend?
I did a video on it, but it's called a Scrum board. It's because I do nerdy stuff, and that's how I roll. But because I work in software engineering, there's a concept called agile methodologies, and as part of agile methodologies, you have a Scrum board, which is basically a dry erase board where you have different columns and rows in there for the different tasks that you're working on. And so it's basically driven by yellow sticky pads like this. And so you put a yellow sticky pad and have like, maybe your thing for this one is I don't know, work on pantry, and that's on your to-do list. And then when you're actively researching it, I move it to the researching column, and then I'm doing all like the investigation stuff, and then I'm actually, when I'm in progress doing something with it actively, it's in that column. And then when it's done, it goes to the done, and it helps create more of a visual representation where you feel like you're actually getting stuff done. You're chipping away at all the little things. It's for prepping, so it's a vast topic, and so it's very easy. It becomes overwhelming very quickly. So for me, this has been the way that I do it, and I do it not only for the prepping projects that I have. Like I'm looking at my Scrum board now, but I have it for the prepping projects in addition to for videos and stuff. I have it for the video projects too. So that's what I do for mine, and it helps me stay organized. So, and then I think it's always good for preppers to have like a notepad nearby as part of their EDC where they could log ideas, because sometimes I get my best ideas when you're not expecting it, like when you're driving or at random points. Yeah.
Don't put a post-it notepad in your car to write down while you're driving.
Yeah.
Wait till you get to a stoplight.
Use like a voice assistant, a hands-free option for
that. Another serious question, Tup, because you do the does every member of your family have their own Jira login?
No one else uses it. It's like it's just all me, but I'm like the only user there. No, they don't have their own Jira login. That's you're showing your nerdiness there by even knowing what Jira is. So.
Yeah, I'll take your nerdiness and I'll raise it one level. I actually signed up for a free Jira account at one point to actually try to map out my editing process and all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah, there's some online, like the Trello board. A lot of people use that one too.
Yeah,
they could get that online. Again, I don't want to go too nerdy because it's not.
Yeah,
we already get heckled enough for.
Hey, you know what? I feel like the people that are here for the nerdiness.
They don't mind that. Yeah, it's a friendly. I think it's a fairly friendly audience.
Yeah, exactly. They're looking past the bougie and they're going to the nerdy. And
I see Mr. Morris is there. Mr. Morris is who's an awesome guy, but he I don't know if he likes the nerdies. What are you talking about? The famous bar?
Yeah. Something about something.
I don't know what. How's it going, Mr. Morris?
Yeah. Hey, he's got Deadpool. It looks like as an avatar. So I
still haven't seen the Deadpool movie. That's how.
How are we friends? How are we friends?
You're going to be really disappointed because I haven't seen any Marvel movie since Iron Man 3. Actually, Iron Man 2. That's how far behind I am. So none of the Avengers, no Thor, no Ant-Man, no anything. So.
I hope you all have enjoyed the final episode.
I'll see you guys, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I'll be back next week with Bougie Preps Live.
Sorry.
Thumbs
down.
Exactly. Unsub. Dislike.
You're dead to me, Tub.
So yeah, Mod, take out the trash, please.
Oh, I think that's
I feel like she was talking about some other commenters, but you know what? We're gonna go with it because it fit with what we're doing. So I tried the scrum board thing because I have a little bit of a software-ish sort of a background and stuff. So tried that. Became a little overwhelming for me on that front. So I've gone more to the Microsoft to-dos.
Okay.
I really like having just a to-do list because I end up getting kind of so many thoughts in your head at any given point of like you start focusing on all of the things that you want to do and don't want to forget, and then you keep forgetting things. So that actually helps me kind of like get things out of my head, and then I can organize them and put them together. One of the things I had was like putting the t-shirt designs up, and then I could have multiple steps so I could kind of see some accomplishment as I was, doing 2 or 3 at a time. I think that's another thing, that sometimes the projects that we have are so big and they might last for a couple of months, or they might, last for a few weeks or something. To have those little milestones to kind of give you a sense of accomplishment and some
Yeah.
reinforcement, I think are really, really helpful to kind of keep you energized and keep you going. So that I don't just be like, you know what, I'm done with the prepping thing. This
Well,
is
it's cool to be able,
taking way
I
too
think
long.
having the milestones and seeing the work that you've done, like on paper or on a wall or in a notepad or whatever it is, that's why they do it in software engineering, and I think it works for prepping too. So, because sometimes, otherwise, you don't feel like you're ever done with anything. So, if you could kind of see like your work after a month of time, it helps keep you motivated. So,
Yeah. So so the surprise that I mentioned at the beginning of the video.
yes,
So one of the side projects. So I have the Prep Alerts calendar, which anyone can go and subscribe to. It's free. It's a Google Calendar, that's shared. I'm in the process of updating it for 2022. I'd hope to get it done in December because that would have made sense. But you know what, life happens. So we're starting a little bit in January. It'll be fine. It'll back populate. It'll be good.
you're getting the 2019 version.
Yeah, exactly. Prepping in 2019 was very different.
Yeah.
But one of the things is I've also had that kind of inventory assessment, which is kind of the, where do you start? How do you kind of organize your thoughts? And I have blown that out now to a full kind of prepping for non-preppers planner that has things about, different types of equipment that you would want. What do you want to put in your packs? How do you organize some of that sort of stuff? Food, what do you have, and recipes, and planning out, food plans and that sort of stuff. So that is going to be coming out here very shortly. I finally got it back. I was getting it turned into a PDF that's fillable, so you can actually type into all the different forms, and you can print it out and laminate certain sections if you want to have it in your garage. So that'll be coming out. That's one of the things that I've been working on instead of doing videos, apparently, is this PDF thing. So
I'm down with PDFs. So
yeah, exactly. I figured you're a fan of PDFs. You would
I am a fan,
understand and appreciate that. So anyway, so hopefully that'll be something that people can use to help plan when it comes out. But that's I've tried to kind of take the things that have been helpful for me and then put them into this prep planner. So, but it'll be prepping for non-preppers. So, it's prepping for non-preppers planner.
Love it.
So anyway, so let's get question wise. If there are any questions, I think we're kind of
we were answering some of the questions in real time, which was nice. But
yeah, exactly. If there's anybody that has kind of like a last minute question, Beaker family was asking if Caitlin has a channel, because she was talking about that she had done some ramen things. So Caitlin, if you have a channel, go ahead and put it in the chat for everybody, and we can take a look. Pony Girl started with the notebooks, but went with Tup's noteboard. Keeps you organized. Tup, like, I don't know from a merchandising perspective, but I would imagine that you could make a Tup scrum board template.
Oh my god!
And put something like that up.
See, I just make mine with tape and markers, so I never thought about that. But I should probably, again, I need to be better with branding and with that kind of stuff.
It's difficult though for someone to download the tape and then put it on their wall. Like,
yeah, that's
if
true.
you had like a little template, because I bet there's a lot of people that don't actually know what a scrum board should look like.
Yeah.
So we could make, we'll put that as a to-do list item.
I like it.
Make Tup scrum board.
I think it's a great idea.
Licensed and copywritten by the Urban Prepper. All right, let's see if there's any more last minute questions. I'm just going back through the chat.
When is Tup going to finish his bob and post a video? Yeah, I my bob. I have my bobs, and I have like a lot of them. The bob stands for bug out bag. It's just like it's making the video part of it is the part that takes a long time. And the problem is that I feel like I've been moving more towards bug in type scenarios versus bug out, and so I just been prioritizing the bug in ones more than the bug out stuff because ideally I would prefer not to bug out if there was an emergency. I'd prefer to bug in because that's where all my stuff is, like the majority of it. So I'm working on a a variation of the Bob project. It's for it's calling it my bug out bike. So having a Bob instead of going with a backpack approach, going with a bicycle kind of trailer approach. So that's a video that I'm actively working on, which would be pretty cool.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the bug out bike.
Yeah,
I think that's going to be super cool.
I think it has a cool. There's bug out vehicles, there's bug out locations, but bug out bikes. So that's the next one. So that should be ready in Q2. I think that's a Q2 video.
Q2 or 2-2?
Q2, quarter two,
the
second quarter of 2022.
All right. Now of 2022 or 2019? Which year are we talking about?
Well, first I'm coming out this weekend, either tomorrow or Sunday. I should be done with it. The bicycle EDC. So we're starting bike EDC, then going to bike go bag because I have a go bag for the bike, and then it'll go to bike bug out bag. So it's a 3-part series.
It's a trilogy.
It's a trilogy.
It's like Iron Man.
It's like The Godfather, but not as cool. So.
It's like Iron Man, but people just stop watching it after the bug out bag. They don't actually get to the bike.
Yeah, I was curious. What do you think is the best trilogy of all time?
Oh, that's a fantastic question. I
nothing prepping related. But
no, like The Dark Knight is kind of the solid bet.
Yeah, I think that's a good call.
The problem I have though is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like is such a masterpiece on so many different fronts that that to me is kind of like it's not a trilogy because it's like 20 movies, but that to me is something that I just can't even believe. It's just the way that it goes together. So I'll go Dark Knight as a trilogy, but I feel like the Marvel, because of the way it all ties together, it's like one big 20 movie thing.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think that's a good call on The Dark Knight. I don't know if it's between the original Star Wars or Dark Knight. I don't like the second and third Matrix. I like most of the movies I like the first one, like Back to the Future, and The Godfather. The third one was horrible. So I think Dark Knight, that's going to be a hard one to beat there. I think it's Dark Knight or the original Star Wars trilogy.
I think the original Star Wars is quality. I think, but yeah, I here's the deal. We got to get you to watch the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe because you nerd out on things.
I'll start chipping away at it.
You gotta just the masterpiece that is the end and the way that it flows, and you want to talk about marketing stuff. Holy cow!
So it's an Indiana Jones. Yeah, that's a good call too. Those are all pretty good. I didn't like the Temple of Doom's my least favorite, but the Last Crusade it's great. Yeah, although what was that? The Search for the Alien Skull or whatever it was, that was horrible. So I don't know. Maybe it's not a trilogy anymore.
So I feel like there are some movies like The Notebook or Titanic that just felt like a trilogy.
That's true.
I actually made a deal with my wife when we were first dating. I would watch The Notebook if she watched all 6 Star Wars movies. Oh. And I still, to this day, don't feel like that was a fair bet. I don't feel like it was a fair trade. The 6-1. I just don't like that. It was anyway.
When my wife and I were first dating, I took her to, I got WrestleMania tickets and I took her to WrestleMania and she hated it.
Oh my.
It was like 6 hours long. And it was, and
That's
she never
fantastic.
forgave me about it. And then she made me go to this horrible opera that it wasn't in English. I didn't know what was going on. And that was my payback. So, but
was that when it was up in Seattle?
Yeah, up in Seattle. But this is pre-COVID stuff.
Pre-COVID times. Yeah.
I see a lot of things coming in. Tup, will the children be included? I think that's for the bike. Yeah, my son also has a bike. My daughter's worrying about, and his bike is. I'm replicating my setup for the bug out bike or bike EDC with my sons. My wife is not in the bike crew yet, but we're forming a biker gang.
But that would be fantastic. Did you consider things like a bicycle built for 2? sort of a
We
thing
have
in
like kind of
case.
like Batman and Robin sidecar. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was looking at that. It's hard because I'm looking at it. There's different sidekicks and there's like a different trailer stuff that you can do for that, but in tandem bikes. But right now for this kind of bike thing, I'm thinking of not being a bug out bike where everyone's bugging out. It's more of like for SHTF, like if you can't drive because the roads are done and I need to get to the
Mhm.
in-laws and come back home, like just transportation during an emergency if driving your car is not available. That's more of the focus. It's not like bugging out into Mad Max style on a bike.
Have you considered like the bikes that they have like in Amsterdam where there's like the big, like the wheel is actually like offset and there's like a wooden basket that you could put a person in?
No, I haven't looked at that. Now I'm gonna have to redo my whole PDF. No.
For every good idea that we give you out of this content to make it, we crush one of your videos with new ideas. That's
Yeah,
what I think. It's like a remix. Like you can immediately go back and update it with new ideas
yeah.
off of that.
Yeah, someone
Uh,
said all the preppers are going bald. That's a yeah, it's once you get into prepping, it just your hair goes with it unless you're
yeah,
one of the ladies.
exactly.
Uh,
There are a
uh,
couple more. There was one about how do you justify the Lego purchases? Um, Yeah. Um, you ask your wife really, really nicely, and she's a wonderful person. And she just says,
you asked for
okay, fine.
permission or for forgiveness? Is that
Look, sometimes you ask for permission, sometimes you ask for forgiveness, sometimes you just don't say anything and you order something you think she'll like, and
yeah,
then like she likes the thing, and then she can't really get mad at you for the other thing. So that was the mistake she made. She went to a friend's house and she was like, that typewriter is pretty cool. And I was like, oh, you don't say. And
yeah,
then, of course, the typewriter arrived. I'm not going to talk about what else was in the boxes
yeah,
because there was many other things. But I was like, look, I got you your typewriter. And she was very appreciative. And then she was like, I'm not even going to ask what else is in the boxes and why my typewriter is this big and there are 3 boxes on the porch. I'm not going to ask. And I was like, okay, good. We're on the same page.
cool.
Let's see. Any other last?
Marriage advice from
Yes, marriage
Prep
advice from
Life
bougie preps.
from Bougie Preps. That's gonna get around the street. I mean, you watch that Bougie Preps podcast. It's those
Yeah,
guys are so bougie.
bougie preps podcast. Oh, we just got it. Yeah, we just got to
It's
post it
Friday,
on.
guys. Sorry.
Yeah,
It's a you know,
but you know what? It's just this is how it is. We're the bad boys of prepping. We laugh,
the
we
bad boys
joke. We
prepping.
have bougie preps, and we have shirts that say "Big Prep Energy." Like it
Yeah,
is what it is.
I
I
gotta
can't.
get. I'm gonna get the big prep energy.
I'll,
Yeah,
I'll take care of you.
I'm gonna
I'll
have it
send you
super
one.
tight. I'm gonna get extra medium. It's
You know what you should get? So they make it. You can do the yoga pants with the big. We'll get big
ooh.
prep energy on the yoga pants
Well, part of my bike is
just in time for Valentine's Day.
when you wear the bike, I wear the tights, the spandex that has the protection. I don't know. I
Uh
might
huh.
even have it here, but you'll never. That's not going to be on the video, just so you know. So, yeah, let me see if I have it.
I don't. I don't know why not. I
Yeah,
mean, I feel like you're.
YouTube
I
will
think that
ban me for sure, but it's
you're
like these kind of,
shortchanging the audience, Tup.
yeah, you have these kind of shorts, but it has this extra padding on the inside, so for the seat. So that's a.
The
But if I wore
padding.
that, people would be making fun of us like crazy. So,
Yeah, we'll get those logoed up. It'll be
but it
fantastic.
kind of looks like you're wearing Depends or something like that. So,
It's camouflage for
yeah.
when you actually do have to wear
But
Depends.
it's
You're like,
totally
no, no.
mandatory. Yeah, so I wear that
Um,
underneath, and then I wear the bike. I have some special bike pants that look cooler, so they don't see that I'm wearing Depends.
Ladies and gentlemen,
So
the show
how
has
did these Friday
has
shows when they
just
go? Yeah, you never know where they're going. So
it's fantastic. Everything about it is fantastic.
there's a couple other
Um,
cool comments coming in. I saw someone says grocery stores are out of white vinegar. I didn't know that. I
yeah,
vinegar looked good at my place, but believe it or not, if you watch some Burning Man videos, you get a lot of bike ideas. That's a good idea. That'd be cool. I have a lot of friends that go to Burning Man, and I think it'd be cool like for preppers to go there. So
you just want to go to like wherever Burning Man is.
yeah,
Like I feel like you secretly have always wanted to go to Burning Man, and this is your excuse to do
people seem to love it. But
it.
cool, good to see you,
um,
Kim. Yeah, Kim was there on I think the last slide. So,
exactly. We got Russian trolls. We got all kinds of things happening. This
yeah.
is one of the most amazing shows I think we've ever done.
Well, I think we did good on this one. So
it's fantastic as usual. All right, we'll wrap it up. If you haven't already, on your way out, go ahead, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you're new to our Russian friends who are apparently joining us, go ahead and subscribe. We'll be here next week. You can troll us in the comments then too. That'll be fantastic.
We gotta. Looks like we have to create some mods because they're after us. So let's.
All right, we'll make some mods.
I think who we should nominate some mods. I think that Pony Girl should be a mod, and
exactly, Kaylin should be a
mod. Mr. Morris would be Kaylin would be a good one. Mr. Morris will lay the law down. Yes. Please send your resumes to Prep Live, and we'll consider those for mod.
Jobs@ptl.com. We're looking for video editors. We're looking.
Mr. Morris says you're doing good when you get troll bots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's always the goal. Can we attract the trolls? And we've got them. So we can call it a night. Thank you everybody for joining. We appreciate you. Again, hit the like button. Check it out. Podcast is on all of the podcast platforms. If you want to just listen to our wonderful voices over and over again, we would appreciate that. We promise it's not creepy. It's informational. And with that, we will see you next Wednesday at 5:30. Unless something happens, and then we'll see you whenever we feel like it.
I'll let you know because next Wednesday. That seems so far away now, but it's going to be some night at some point. It might be a midnight show. Who sees?
It'll be after tonight, and hopefully before 2019. That somewhere in there would be our goal. But anyway,
do a special like Prep Live after hours, like a
Prep Live. We're doing it. That'll be live on
sneaking in their bedroom with their phone, and I gotta watch that Prep Live really quick. It's not wake up as the wife
in your big prep energy pants. That's what's gonna happen. We'll do it live on TikTok so it can get a lot of community guidelines violations, and we'll be banned from commenting. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. We will see you next week. Hopefully on Wednesday, maybe Thursday, maybe the following week. Who knows? Thanks a lot. We'll talk to you later. Bye bye.